environment has been perfectly designed to keep you exactly where you are. There's a lot of people who you might need to let go of. You might need to just let them go. They don't serve you anymore. Expecting excellence starts with you expecting excellence from yourself.
Want a sword? Get a mentor. Hey, this is Carmichael, and this channel was created to help you overcome the #1 challenge that is holding you back: a lack of belief in yourself. You watch these videos because you know there's something inside you as well. You've got Michael Jordan talent level at something. So today, let's learn from one of the best, my husband Evan Carmichael, and some of his best motivations. Mentor me, my love, Evan Carmichael. Okay, let's kick it off with rule #1, alter your environment.
Your environment has been perfectly designed to keep you exactly where you are. The people you hang with, the videos you watch, the media you consume, all of it are perfectly designed to keep you exactly where you are right now today. If you want to raise your standards, it starts by raising your environment first. So a friend of mine and friend of the channel, Mark Drager from Fanta, gave me a really warm message yesterday, and he thanked me for helping start the process for him to turn from being a pessimist to an optimist, from being somebody who was always worried and negative to somebody who's having more energy, who's seeing the light, who's becoming more optimistic, who still has a road to go, but is so far further along than where he was before. And he wrote to me to say, thank you for starting me down this path. He said there was one conversation in particular that had special meaning to him, where I told him that I just really believed in him, that I saw a lot of the people around him, I saw a lot of his peers, and I just thought that he had so much more potential than where he was. And I think maybe for the first time he had an extra bolt of belief pushed into him, which is what I do, which is what I'm great at, which is what I enjoy doing. But fast forward to now, 6 months, 8 months later, he's made major gains in his life. He's brought on new team members. He's now consuming other content that is positive and optimistic. He's changing his business around. He's investing more in himself. He's happier. He's lost a lot of weight. He's growing. He's wanting to strengthen his relationships. He's just seen a big shift in his life by trying to move more into optimism instead of pessimism. And so it started with my conversation with him. He then promoted somebody within his organization to become COO, whose name was Louis, and he's also a massive force for good and positivity. He started consuming Gary's content, which is positivity. He started consuming Tom Bilyeu's content, which is positivity. He started now injecting all these people and resources into his life to make him feel more positive, more optimistic, more happy, give him more energy, so that he has that to go take on his goals and the challenges that are in front of him, and slowly move that needle from being a pessimist to an optimist. I don't think people are pessimists, to be honest. I think everybody is born an optimist. I don't think people are born negative. I think that's trained into you. I think you're a pessimist and negative because of the circumstances you had and what was planted in your brain by the people around you. I think people are good. I think humans are just good. I think if we weren't good, we wouldn't be here anymore. 99.99999% of people are good. Right? Some people have a little bit of a miswiring up there and it causes them to enjoy killing people, but for the most part, we're good. I also believe that people are built to serve. I believe that you get happiness from helping others, by being of service to others. That's what actually makes you happy. There aren't very many happy moments in your life that didn't involve somebody else. You were helping, you were serving. They've shown the effect on your brain of serving and helping somebody is the same as food and sex. We're literally hardwired to help others and to serve. And so if you believe, like I believe, that humans are good and humans are built to serve, then what would cause somebody to be pessimistic and negative? How sad of an upbringing does that person have to have had? The programming that was installed inside them by other people who just were negative and down on their life, but weren't inherently bad people. The people who stole from my car in LA, the guy who cut me off in traffic yesterday, I don't think they're bad people. I still think they're good people who are built to serve. Just circumstances and conditioning have led them down a negative path. And so the good news is you can get out of it, just like my friend Mark has, who's someone who was sworn to say, I'm a pessimist, right? I just default to negativity, to now seeing the shift. by changing the people he's surrounding himself with, by altering his environment, by consuming content that is more positive. He's already seen a noticeable shift over the past X number of months, and that's going to continue to grow. That could be you too.
Rule number 2, cut out negativity.
Cut out negativity. Just cut out the people who don't serve you. Sometimes those are friends that you've had from kindergarten or high school or university. You're in the friendship out of convenience now. There's a lot of people who you might need to let go of. You might need to just let them go. They don't serve you anymore. You've walked your parallel path together, and now they've gone out. Well, they probably just stayed here while you've gone out here. They don't serve you anymore. And it doesn't mean you have to be a mean person or cold or rude. You're just not on the same path anymore. And a lot of people fight that because you're worried about finding new friends or being around new people. And so you stick with these people who don't serve you anymore. And that's a mistake because they're keeping you where you're at. Because their negativity, their complaining, their unwillingness to change, their pessimism, their laziness, their not chasing down goals, that becomes toxic. Even if you're trying to be a beacon, even if you're trying to be the person who pulls everybody up, if all you're doing is trying to pull other people up and there's nothing pulling you up, you're going to be limited for life. When I went to the Tony Robbins event, the second one where he invited me to come as his guest, at the end of the first day or second day, you're asked to go do a fire walk. And the whole idea is to do something scary. Well, I went home to my Airbnb at the time and I did the scary thing. I skipped the fire walk at Tony's event to go home and do the real fire walk, which was letting go of some people that I had been around for, in some cases, a decade plus, that this doesn't serve me anymore. I'm doing this just out of convenience instead of something that's actually helping me grow. And so I need to shed this skin so that I can be reborn. Like there's this new skin under you that's trying to grow, right? You're trying to become a butterfly, but you're forced to stay a caterpillar. You don't want that. So you gotta let go of the negativity. Sometimes that might be family. And with family, maybe you should cut out some of your family members from your life. Maybe that sounds drastic, but maybe you should. A less drastic version of that is just don't talk about some things. Limit access. If you know that career talk is always going to cause problems with your family, then don't talk about your career. Say, I'm not talking about that. And stand up for yourself. At what point is this your life? This is your life. Your parents, the people around you, they love you. They want you to have success. They're from a different era. They're a different generation. They don't know what's even possible right now. What they did, if you're 21, their life at 21 was totally different. Your parents' life when they were your age was totally different. They don't understand what's available right now. And so even though their message is out of love, likely, like your parents probably love you, they just don't understand what's possible. And you can't blame them. This is your fault now. You need to accept responsibility for where you're at and limit conversations, limit exposure, cut out the negativity from your life. It's really hard for a seed to grow when it's in a toxic waste dump. And that becomes a choice. A seed where it gets planted doesn't really get the choice of where it gets planted. But you get to choose. You get to change your environment. So choose powerfully and cut out the negativity from your life.
Rule number 3, play bigger triggers.
And then number 3 is have play bigger triggers. Play bigger triggers are things in your environment that remind you to step up. It could be a shirt that you wear, right? And that shirt that you put on reminds you to play a bigger game. It could be your physical environment, putting up posters or banners in your office, wherever you're working, or in your car as a reminder that you need to step up. It could be your screen time, right? What's on your cell phone background, what's on your desktop background, that when you look at every day reminds you. It's triggers in your environment to step up and play a bigger game. Your environment is keeping you where you are, so you need to change your environment. It doesn't mean that you can afford necessarily to move out and go buy some penthouse in New York City that looks over Central Park, right? That may not happen. But you can have a poster of it as a reminder that you're building a better future, that this is not where you're gonna be. This place that you're in right now is not gonna be where you're gonna be in a year. Because you're making big growth, you're making big gains. And so you want to set up triggers in your environment that remind you constantly. Why it's beautiful is you set it up once. You set up your cell phone background once, and what it does is reminds you every time you look at your phone. How many times are you looking at your phone? Would you like an inspirational message to remind you to play bigger? Something emotional? Has to mean something to you. Don't copy what I have. These are my parents. It means something to me to have them on the wall. My parents on your wall won't mean very much probably, right? It's a little weird. So What are the things? What is your environment? What is your home office? What's in your car? What's in your bedroom? What's on the cell phone and your computer background? What is it? What are the things that when you see it just makes you think, that's right. And it snaps you out of mediocrity. It snaps you out of the way you are because you want to just stay where you are. Again, it's been perfectly designed to keep you where you are. It's easy to stay where you are. And then bam, something shows up. So you could trick yourself. You can force yourself to play a bigger game if you set up the right play bigger triggers for yourself.
Now I have a very special bonus clip from my love Evan Carmichael on raising your standards that I think you're gonna enjoy. But before that, it's time for the 3-point landing questions. Let's go from watching the video to taking action. Here we go. Question number 1, what is the one change in your environment that you can make it this week? Question number 2, what negativity that you will cut out this week? Question number 3, what play bigger triggers can help remind you to play a bigger game?
Expecting excellence starts with you expecting excellence from yourself. People want to work for people who they aspire to be like. If someone excellent is working for you, but they have higher standards than you do, they will eventually leave you. Your company's limit is your standards. So I look at Alex as an example, who helps me run Toronto Dance Salsa. I invested into the company a number of years ago. I became the 100% owner in it, and then I'm training Alex to run it. One of the things that Alex had an issue was showing up on time. He had low standards for himself of being on time. If you said be here at 10 o'clock, he would be here at 10:15 or 10:20, and that just became what he was known for. Everybody knew Alex as the guy who didn't follow through, who came late to things, and that was Alex. Great. Some people are willing to put up with it. Some people will tolerate it because they like his energy, his enthusiasm, his fun, his bravado. They like it, and they have low standards for themselves. But high achievers, people who have high standards, that would drive them nuts. And people would leave the business. People would not want to work with them. People would want to go somewhere else because their standards are higher than the person that they're supposed to be working for. Nobody wants to be in that situation. You do not want to work for somebody who has lower standards than you do. And so the challenge became, Alex, we need to raise your standards. You need to start showing up not just on time, but early. For him now, it's 10 minutes early. So if he said he's gonna be here at 10, that means you're there at 9:50. You're there at 10 to 10. You have to be. So you're late. If you show up at 10 o'clock for Alex, his own standards, not somebody else. If you're showing up at 10 o'clock and you say you're gonna be there at 10 o'clock, he's late to himself. That's a starting point. And as his standards have risen, so have the people underneath his team who are willing to follow him. As your standards rise, as you care more about yourself and what you're doing and what you will no longer accept and tolerate, then the people who are working for you, their standards rise as well. And you're able to now attract a much wider pool because they want to level up. People want to be around you, yes, for your mission, but they want to level up. It's your responsibility to help people level up. And so if you're only at this point, as soon as somebody gets here, they're leaving. But as you can go here, then you can attract a lot of people underneath who want to level up, and they're going to learn from you, not just the knowledge, but the abilities, the mindset, the hustle, the energy, the drive that you pour into your business will be an inspiration to other people when you raise your own standards.
If you want to know how to develop more confidence, check out the video next to me. I think you're gonna enjoy. I will see you there.
What do you say when you see yourself in the mirror? When it's just you, when you're all alone, it's just you see yourself in the mirror, what do you say? When you face adversity and you tell yourself it's too difficult,